Good evening. Welcome to Revelation Time. Glad you could join us today. Revelation 1, verse 1 speaks of, "This is the revelation from Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show his servants the events that soon take place." This program is about the events that will soon take place. And the servant we have today in the studio with us is Apostle Steve Liston. And we are so happy that he could join us today. Apostle, welcome.
Welcome to all internet listeners. Welcome, wherever you are. Welcome.
Revelation time. We're at the end of 2009, and we have seen many, many surprises this year. In the government, in the weather, in the healthcare, in so many different areas. Going into 2010, what is the Lord saying?
Okay, we just want to thank the Lord that He has given us life and He has given us strength. And the main fact, if you're watching right now, we just want to thank the Lord that He has given us life and that we are still living. Now, 2009 is fast approaching, and there are still many days to go. And there's a possibility, if we don't pray, we might see more surprises by the end of 2009. The number 9, we speak specifically with the deal with harvest, and it's harvest for righteousness or harvest in terms of judgment itself. It was not surprising to us because God said He revealed things to come to His servants. And I speak about God, true servant, those that are staying at God's feet. And God still warning the world itself. And if you realize, you have seen that we have prophesied many things in terms of politics, and we have also prophesied about the change that is taking place globally. Some of those changes they refer to as global warming, and it has been happening to the T. And we continue, as we continue to watch, our job is to watch and pray in this season and move quickly in terms of souls, to save soul for the Lord. Now, yes.
Can you give us at least 2 examples in the political arena and in the weather of what has already come to pass in 2009?
Okay, we have spoken about the different changes that will take place in the weather itself. And it has been happening. We see where the seasons are now mixing up. We have seen what is happening in the North Pole and the cosmic, the entire atmospheres, that things is happening. And even some of those stuff that is happening, it may not be reported by scientists, but I can tell you that scientists has in a headache right now because things is happening right now that only God, true servants, will be able to pray and get the necessary revelation to deal with what is coming. In terms of the political eras, we have prophesied about the changes that have taken place worldwide. We have seen riot, and we have seen changes, and we have also seen coup, even the Latin countries, and we have seen a lot of stuff that is happening right now. We have seen where the economical situation is continuing to create an havoc, and we are still waiting on a leader worldwide that will rise up and use God's biblical principle. But it's happening. There's so much prophecies and so much revelation that the Lord has given us that if you visit our website, rwominc.com, you will see all those prophecies. A lot of them has manifest and come to pass.
If you had access to the Congress, what message would you give to?
Okay, now, one of the things that the Lord is speaking about, having access to Congress, not just Congress, but world leaders. We have seen where the G8 summit, and we have seen where United Nations would gather the leaders from time to time in terms of speaking. Now, one of the things that God is saying worldwide in terms of leadership for 2010, one of the things that's going to be on the front burner is that the number 10 mean prove, the number 10 mean test, and the number 10 speak of God laws and God precept. And it's going to be a year of accountability, especially to leaders both politically, business-wise, and also within the church itself. It's a year that God going to be going to deal with accountability itself. Now, if I get access to the leaders, and that is one thing that we are trying to do, is God is calling leaders to seek Him. And we are finding out now that we cannot be effective leaders in terms of what is happening worldwide right now. Number one, the economical situation controlled by God. They don't control by man. It's not about accountant or economics that can predict what will happen. So one of the things that is happening is that the favor and the grace that was once given by mankind, even business, the techniques and the principle, it don't apply again. The season has now changed. And for us to understand the season is as in 1 Chronicle 12 verse 32. There are anointed men that God anointed, the son of Issachar, and that is anointing. And they would understand that the times and season and what Israel or Zion, the church, are to do. What is happening is that if we do not understand the time and season, it doesn't matter what projection, it doesn't matter what budget or whatever strategic plans are put in place, it's going to go to nothing. Right. And it, so what God is doing is calling leaders to see God. Now, when we look on the book of Chronicles, in 2 Chronicle 15, we see where God specifically speak to the leader and said to him, if you seek me, you will find me. But if you reject me, then I will reject you. And what was happening is that Israel at the time was going through a lot of stuff. And we are now the modern days Israel, right, the nation itself. And God was saying to Israel that the things that they were going through was a result that they no longer see God. So what God does is that God said, before I will really bring restoration to you, is that God wants them to seek Him and to marry them, and God wants them to make a vow, a covenant that we will see God. Now what is happening is that all what is happening, there are still laws that are put in place, but no leaders are seeking God. It's not about, we'll wake up this morning and we just say, oh, Father, prayer. But if we're truly seeking God, the nation itself, then God would direct them what to do. And because the world is not seeking God, we're not just seeing the global warming that they are speaking to, but we are seeing countries are going now to the IMF when God is saying this is not a season to go to any international lender, but it's a season where God wants to write off debt. It's a season where God wants to open the nation itself, the poorer country, and show them the hidden riches that is in their midst. It's a season, as in the book of Genesis 26, when God was speaking in the time of famine and recession, and God was speaking to Isaac not to go to the Philistine, but to sow his way out. That's what God was saying. What he should do is to practice a principle, and what God will do is that God will help him through the famine, through the recession itself. And because Isaac obeyed, and what happened during that time is that Isaac received 3 specific blessings. He prospered, he continued to be prospering, and he became very prosperous. God gave him 100-fold because he listened to the Lord. Now, in this season, it is very difficult onward to 2010.